from the pain within him. After 3 years, he thought, it should cease to hurt, yet it had not. There was no longer the constant dull ache that had accompanied him the first few months when he'd returned to London after Anna declined his proposal, but neither had his world ever completely righted itself. No woman since had caught his eye enough to warrant more than a dance or a polite conversation. He still thought of her now and then, and every time he did, there was a slice of pain. Reed supposed he should be glad that it was no more than an echo of the hurt that had once enveloped him. He tried to pull his mind from the old wound and think about the dream instead. He remembered the fear in Anna's eyes, the scream that seemed to be issuing from her lips as she ran. What was she running from? What did it mean? And most of all, why was he so certain that the dream meant that Anna was in danger? Reed Moreland was not the sort of man who believed in visions and portents. He had had a grandmother who had claimed to converse with her dead relations. His mother had said that it was typical of her mother-in-law that she had pursued her hapless relatives even beyond the grave. But grandmother was generally agreed to be a trifle dotty. Rational adults did not see things that were not there, nor receive information in dreams, nor hear heavenly voices. Reasonable, well-educated men such as himself lived their lives according to logic, not superstition. Yet neither could he dismiss the things that had happened to his sisters 2 years ago. They were not hysterical females given to frights and vapors, yet both Olivia and Kyria had encountered strange mystical forces that could not be explained away rationally. Indeed, all of them had given up trying to explain things. If there were unseen forces at work in the world, a possibility that he could no longer dismiss out of hand, then it seemed that the Moreland clan had some sort of special connection to them. More than that, irrational as it might be, he could not dismiss the force of the feeling that had shot through him during the dream. It had been too strong to ignore. Anna was in trouble. The only real question was, what was he going to do about it? Chapter 1. Anna Holcombe made her way downstairs to the kitchen area. It was still quite early. She had not even had her breakfast yet, but she wanted to make sure the cook could remember to bake something for her visits today. There were duty calls, one to one of the tenants whose wife had had a baby, and the other her weekly call to the vicarage. She and her brother Kit were all that was left of the 2 major families that had lived in this area for centuries, so it was up to her to make sure that such niceties were taken care of. Anna had never been one to shrug off her duties. Indeed, there had been moments in her life when she had thought rather resentfully that her duty had consumed her entire life. However, those moments were few and far between. For the most part, Anna accepted her life as it was without complaints. She had had, she knew, a most fortunate life, and it was both foolish and petty to bemoan the parts of it that had been hard. As she strode along the main hallway toward the door into the kitchen, she saw the door at the end of the hallway open. It was a very short door and unevenly set, a quaint leftover from the medieval cloisters from which this part of the manor house had been built, and it was not frequently used, so it startled Anna a little to see it pushed open and a slender girl slip through it rather furtively. The girl cast a quick glance down the hall and jumped when her eyes fell upon Anna. A guilty look crossed her face, and she glanced from Anna to the back stairs only a few feet from her. Anna knew the girl. Her name was Estelle, and she was one of the upstairs maids. For a moment, Anna couldn't understand the girl's furtive entry, but then she realized that Estelle must be just returning to the house, which would indicate that she had spent the night somewhere other than upstairs in her bed. Anna started to speak to her, but just at that moment the housekeeper's voice came from the side hall. "Estelle!" Both Anna and the maid jumped. The maid shot Anna a pleading look and sidled toward the back staircase. "Drat it, where is that girl?" the housekeeper said, treading heavily toward the intersection of the 2 corridors where Anna stood. From where Mrs. Michaels was, she couldn't see the maid at the back stairs. "Oh, Miss Anna, I didn't realize you were there. I was just looking for that silly girl Estelle." Anna smiled at her and lied blandly. "I believe I saw her upstairs earlier, cleaning the bedrooms." Mrs. Michaels had been the Holcombe family's housekeeper for as long as Anna could remember. She was a faithful and efficient employee, but also a woman of stern character. Anna would have hated to have the woman supervising her. Estelle cast Anna a grateful look and scurried up the stairs. Anna continued talking to the housekeeper, saying,